Not that this is anything brand new or surprising, but I'm going to open 3 new boxes of old Heroscape. These have not been sealed again and repackaged. These are still new in box. So if you already know the contents, there's not going to be anything surprising here, but this is going to show you what old Heroscape had in it. First up is going to be the Ticalla Jungle, which is basically what the Grove at Lower's Edge was a repackage of, minus the Firelag Spiders squad. So let's take a look at that box. Also, I should actually get this open. So first, a look at the packaging. Here is the rear side of the box with the extremely rare Achilles Alliance. Pay mortgage or rent, or get this. Not really a tough choice. Now to cut like 16-year-old tape. Alright. Here is the Ticalla Jungle. Contents include this rule book, or fold out more like it, with the Firelag Spiders Army card, which I'll hold up, take a look at. Inside the fold out itself is assembly instructions for the trees, placement rules for the bushes in the trees, rules and effects on the basic and master game, and there is a map and scenario. Taking a look at the miniatures themselves. Maybe. Okay. Nope, not working. Alright, the one on the left here was causing major problems. But here's each of the spiders. Here are the canopies for the jungle trees. Here is an example of the jungle bush, which is basically aquarium decorations glued to a hex. There are 6 of them in the box. All 6 of them are pretty much the same. They also have a tendency to be very loose. They plug back in. Little super glue will fix that. And here is kind of a side-by-side of the Ticalla Jungle and the Grove at Lower's Edge Jungle Bush. This one here, also very loose. It's very old. Give it a break. But this one here has harder plastic on it, so it blocks line of sight better than this one, which could have some rules questions, like, I can see you through that, but no rules questions about that here. It's just a solid piece of plastic on that part of it. And here is one of the 3 trees. They all have varying height, and the canopy just kind of plugs in on the top there. And here is a comparison of the Ticalla Jungle versus the Grove at Lower's Edge trees. I believe I have the wrong canopy size on this tree, but again, the harder plastic to aid in line of sight and clear sight discussion and stuff like that, but relatively the same product. And on the inside of this box with plastic that shredded my fingers is a now outdated map of Valhalla. Next up, we have the Thaelenk Tundra, which comes with a squad of Zute and 6 glacier pieces. Unlike the Grove at Lower's Edge, the Snowfields of Valhalla was a new expansion that came with snow-covered trees rather than glaciers and no squad. Now this old tape, or the old snow, has a tendency to yellow or brown over time. So I have a Snowfields of Valhalla 7 hex piece here to see how white this snow actually is. But I believe in opening it up and playing with it. It's a game and it's not going to last forever. Enjoy it. So, first off, we've got each member of the Zute squad. Look like a couple of snow brutes. boss says you haven't played the game enough. We're gonna beat you. Stupid. Anyway. Got single glacier, which just looks like a clear piece of plastic that they airbrushed some paint and flecks on. Got the triple glacier. Got the 4-hex glacier. And then the massive 6-hex glacier. Inside, there is also another fold-out and the Zute army card. Alright. Inside this fold-out, similar to the Ticalla Jungle, is rules, optional rules for heavy snow and slippery ice, I think. I don't know. It's not used that often because it just slows figures down, but it is an option. And there is also build instructions for a map and scenarios. I can tell you before I even get down to these that I am not going to need the 7-hex to compare the yellowing of this set. The plastic covering these was a nightmare, but which one of these do you think aged the poorest? I don't even think I need the Snowfields of Valhalla 7-hex to compare that. Not white. So, we've got the Glacier hex bases, ice tile, and snow tiles. Even some of the ones on the bottom. Just the detrimental effects of age on the product. This one here, this double hex, seems relatively unscathed by time. A little bit darker, but not too much. So here is a Thaelenk Tundra ice hex, and here is a Snowfields of Valhalla ice hex. I believe this was just a clear hex that they airbrushed on, but this, I think the flecks of snow or whatever it's supposed to be are actually part of the mold. Could be wrong on that, but there's a comparison for the ice tiles. If you want this set, I would recommend probably just finding squads of the Zute by themselves and the glacier pieces, because the snow itself does not hold up. And the inside of this box was just some bramble artwork on a blue background. Next we have the Volcarren Wasteland. This, like the snow, also does not age well. Whatever red and orange they used for the plastic tends to be extremely brittle now after all of this time. So this set here has the tendency to break the most. And again, it comes with a squad, rules, and an army card. There is no Lava Fields of Valhalla yet. That's supposed to come to August. It's kind of a soft re-release of this set. Most of the terrain that's coming out has some differences, like there's rock outcrops, no squad, no rulebook in that set. But they are to just make this old terrain available so people can replace broken tiles and stuff, and also just have options for this current production of Heroscape. I'm going to be a little careful with this one because on the underside of this flap, is an inside joke among the designers of Heroscape. There's supposed to be a sticker on the underside of this flap that is blocking a little cartoon of, I'm probably going to mispronounce his name, but it's Rob Devow, but he was on a podcast, or just a interview before they were really called podcasts, about Heroscape with Craig Van Ness, and this is before the lava set was out, and they were being asked what they were playtesting, and he was like talking about lava, and then out of nowhere he's like, "Hot lava death!" or he makes some weird noise or something, but it was, you know, hilarious, and it was forever recognized, so they put his little cartoon face with "Hot Lava Death" under this flap, and I think Hasbro said that's like too violent or something because this was geared towards 8-year-olds at the time. Now it's 14 plus. Heroscape's growing up, but it had that, and their solution was to put a sticker over it. I must have got a later production where it was removed altogether. The new Lava Fields of Valhalla is supposed to have a hot lava death inside joke on it as well, with Scott, the president of Renegade Game Studios, Gaeta, I think is how you pronounce his last name. But yeah, there's a cartoon caricature of him saying hot lava death, which I think was a missed opportunity because it could have been Scott Lava Death, but you know, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, inside this is a army card for the Obsidian Guards. And then the fold out, which comes with rules for lava field hexes and molten lava hexes, and also a scenario, which this map is lame. Alright, unlike the spiders and the Zute, let's see if the Obsidian Guards... Ooh. Nope, they're not going to cooperate. I gotta do this off camera. For some reason, I just don't trust it when the plastic sounds like an old ghost ship sound effect from movies. But here are the Obsidian Guards in all of their semi-translucent glory. So here is a molten lava hex just out of this box, and here are molten lava hexes after one playthrough with super glue and hopes and dreams holding them together. So, like I said, these are very brittle. The speckling or the red or whatever they used for this plastic made it very fragile. And just so you can see, here is a lava field hex. It came in 1, 2s, and 7s. Not much to this set compared to the other terrain sets. And uninterestingly, the back of this box was also just bramble pattern. What I'm most interested about in the Lava Fields of Valhalla set, which is coming out, is the fact that they are adding 3 hex lava pieces as well as 24 hex lava field, which does not see a lot of use or interest in the competitive Heroscape scene, but for casual games, it's pretty exciting. Now, I was going to open up the Fortress of the Archkiri and the Road to the Forgotten Forest sets, but I did that before I decided to make this video, so just imagine me opening and showing you a different colored hex and a different unit. So, the Dumatef Guard came in the Road to the Forgotten Forest set. This set came with 5 of these evergreen trees of different sizes, and just so you can see, here is a remake of them for the Snowfields of Valhalla. So pretty faithful in terms of, I think they just had an old one and copied the mold. Yes, there is a evergreen that's this height. That's not that big of a difference, but that's the trees. It also came with road tiles and small walls, and another fold out with rules for roads, rules for small walls. Oh, well, this one's not a fold out, it's a book. Rules for trees, and scenario map. Now, this set is kind of being soft re-released with the Roads of Valhalla terrain set, which is set to drop in October of 2025. The Roads of Valhalla is actually going to come with no trees, but it will have 2 bridges and I think 16 road hexes. I'm not sure. I don't remember. No 24 hex road piece, though, sadly. And then there's the Fortress of the Archkiri set, which I consider a terrain set, but it's more of a set piece, or like specific scenario, siege scenarios and stuff. And it had various castle pieces. It came with what are essentially road tiles when they're not used for the walls, but they're like wall top pieces, more hexes like that. It came with the very infamous fortress door, which has a little gate on it, and so much health it's nigh impossible to kill in a timely manner. Came with a flag, little battlements and ladders, and also came with this rule book that shows you walls, battlement rules, and then several segments of ladder rules, and it came with some scenarios and maps. Here is the Fortress Door army card. Oh, only 4 defense and 10 life. Yeah, but it adds 2 automatic shields when small or medium figures attack it, and 1 automatic shield to whatever is rolled when rolling against a normal attack from a large or huge figure. So this thing, it has staying power. These are infamous for when you put them together, you have to become the Incredible Hulk to get them apart, and you have to trust that the plastic will hold, because they are impossible, and it always feels like you're gonna break it, but yeah, you just gotta trust it, I guess. This set is not being re-released. As far as we know, there's no plans, but there is a set coming out again in October of 2025 called the Ruins at Lower's Edge, which add more walls that came in the Age of Annihilation Master set, and is kind of a replacement for the Fortress walls. So here's the Fortress of the Archcurie walls, and here is the Ruins at Lower's Edge / Age of Annihilation Master Set walls. Now, the reason I consider this a kind of re-release of this is because in competitive map building, they always uncap the walls, because flying and ranged, getting up on this height, there is no easy way, or sometimes no possible way, for a melee figure to hit a figure up here. So, to keep the game balanced and fair, they take the caps off and just use the walls as line of sight blockers. Now, the ones that come in the Age of Annihilation Master Set will be semi-compatible with the ones that come in the Ruins at Lower's Edge Master Set, because these ones are not stackable. The ones that come with the Ruins at Lower's Edge will be stackable, so you can stack them. There will also be bigger arches and gates and stuff, and triangular walls so you can make different angles. But I think that these ones will only be able to connect on the bottom layer. So that was a look at opening up some of the first terrain sets that came out for Heroscape: the Volcarren Wasteland, the Thaelenk Tundra, and the Ticalla Jungle. The Road to the Forgotten Forest and Fortress the Archcurie, I didn't have those to open. I already opened them, so sorry about that. I just thought you might enjoy seeing some Heroscape opened rather than having it sit on a shelf and gather dust. Like I said earlier, I believe it's a game and it's meant to be played with. Growing up, I did have stock item toys, which were Hot Wheels cars and Transformers and things that were just meant to be on a shelf and be looked at. Heroscape, I think, is just too fun to let that happen. So hopefully this piqued your interest a little bit if you still haven't got the game, or maybe introduced a set to you that you didn't know existed. So have fun with the game.